Hello friends, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. Today again we are back with the new finance updates, and one request friends, please watch this video till the end so that you can cover without you putting extra time and efforts all the news whatever has happened in the last 3 days, so that you can put your time effort in some other productive things, like cover your other syllabuses, not just going through the newspapers or going to the news portals. So this video will help you cover everything in next 20 minutes. You will be able to cover all the news, and then the rest of the time you can put in the other productive work. So my humble request, please watch this video successfully, completely, and if you like my work, please think about subscribing to my channel. So let's get started. So finance news and updates, and it is for 4th December to 6th December. So without wasting much time, let's get started. The first news, as a reply to a question in Lok Sabha, the government has replied that Indian banks has a return of rupees 10.6 lakh crore in 5 years. 50% of this money is linked to large corporates. So let's see what is the news. Government on Monday informed the Lok Sabha that all scheduled commercial banks have a return of nearly rupees 10.06 lakh crore in last 5 years, out of which nearly 15% belong to large industrial houses. It also said that nearly 2,300 borrowers, each having a loan of rupees 5 crore or more, willfully defaulted around 2 lakh crore. So let's see everything one by one. So what is this? What is write-off? What are you talking about? Write-off is actually taking out something from the books. So some political parties often they say that if something has been written on the books, it is now it is a kind of gift from the government, and they are looting public money. They are gifting it to their industrial friends, the large corporate houses. And if you just see it, see this news on the face value, you will feel like, and I am very much confident that whoever has asked this question, he must be from a opposition party. I'm not a supporter of any political party. I have my own political lineages, but I'm not here to support anyone. I have just here to clarify. Now, if this write-off is nothing but only cleaning up books, why this write-off is done? As per ICAI regulations, if a loan has gone to loss category for whatever reason, if it has stayed for NPA for more than 5 years, or the security value is less, anything, if it has gone to loss category, the 100% provision for this loan amount has to be made. So banks now think if it has already done 100% provision, then it is eating into their profit. So it is good to write off these loans. Then by writing off, they are clearing this loan, the NPA, from their own books. They are no longer in the books, so they can realize the profit on their balance sheets by writing off the loans for once and for all. But the even for write-off accounts, the recovery goes on, and they are not let out like that. So all the recovery proceedings, whether it is IBBI or NCLAT or any criminal proceedings, they all will continue to proceed, and they will be taken to task. It is not that once if it is written off, they will be let off so easily. So now I'm hopeful that you are now you have understood what is a write-off. Now another term you have come across is willful default. So let us see what is now willful default. Willful default is deemed to have occurred if the borrower has failed to meet payment obligations on any of these grounds. Like if they have failed to pay despite having the ability to pay, that they have the ability, they could have paid, but they are not willingly paying. So that's how the term willful default comes. Other condition is that like they have diverted funds for other purposes. So every loan is sanctioned for some kind of purpose. So suppose if they have diverted such the funds of the banks for some other purpose, and naturally the purpose granted will not move forward, will not succeed, and so they will not be able to generate the expected revenues. So they will not be able to pay. Third is they have ciphered off. Now ciphered off means they have taken the money out somewhere else. Not even they have put in the business. They have taken it out to some other company, some other country, somewhere else. Dispose of the property which was pledged to lenders for the purpose of securing the loan. So if they have pledged some property, whether it is immovable property or MDRs, anything, if they have pledged or shares without paying the loan, then also they will be called willful defaulter. If they have failed to honor obligations as guaranteed despite having the ability to pay. So the first one was ability to pay by the borrowers. Now sometimes guarantor also, like promoters, they are giving guarantee for their own company. Sometimes they are also giving personal guarantee, but if they are having ability to pay, like you can say Vijay Mallya, he was having individual capability to pay, but he was not paying. So that's why he also falls in the category of willful defaulter. So what happens if somebody has been categorized as willful defaulter? What will happen? So if somebody has been categorized as willful defaulter, and normally RBI maintains a list of willful defaulters. It asks all the lending institutions to provide it, and then it compiles the list. So no additional credit facilities should be granted by any lender, and these willful defaulters, they are barred from institutional finance for floating new ventures for next 5 years. So even if the willful defaulter they are in the list, then no additional facilities will be granted by any of the lenders. Second, their company will also not get any additional credit facilities. Third, they cannot even float a new company, even suppose they have paid or they have compromised or done something. If they have paid the loan, then also for next 5 years, for any new company of those people, they will not get any finance from any institutions. But recently, like 6 months back in July, RBI floated some new discussion on willful defaulters. They proposed that now willful defaulters, they can enter into compromise settlements with the banks, and after 1 year of cooling period, they can again apply for new loans. So that was opposed very vehemently by all the stakeholders, because it was kind of encouraging willful default. They can now first they can default it willingly, then they can come to bank, they can compromise by paying 10%, 20% or something, and after that, waiting for 1 year, and they can again go to the banks for asking for loan, and this cycle will continue. This will not only encourage willful default, this will also discourage honest payers. So everybody oppose this, and I am hopeful that RBI will not proceed with those guidelines. Their logic was that we should not this will clean the bank's book, and it will reduce burden of NPS on banks. But that was not very convincing, so RBI has stopped. So this was the news. Now moving on to the next news. Now NCLAT has upholded NFRA penalty on DHFL auditors. Now let's see the news. The National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, it has reaffirmed the penalty levied by the National Financial Reporting Authority on auditors of UDAN Housing Finance Company Corporation Limited, ruling that NFRA was well within its rights to issue a penalty in case of misconduct retrospectively. So we'll see this news in detail in our subsequent news. So the NFRA had fined 18 DHFL auditors rupees 1 lakh each, with 14 of them being barred from practice for 6 months to a year. So there has been different durations for barring them from practice. The auditors were found guilty of misconduct during branch audits and were blamed for failing to detect fraud at DHFL. So you may be aware about the problem of DHFL. They issued loans, and then they were not able to recover, and also they diverted funds from their own company, and they had also given loans to their own people. So now you will ask, who is this? What is NCLAT? Who is NFRA? NFRA? It is called NFRA. So first, the NCLAT deals with the matters of company law. Company law deals with the matters of the companies, and the National Company Law Tribunal decides on the matter. And if you have any grievances you want to appeal, then you can go to National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. So that was NCLAT. Now, what is an NFRA? NFRA is National Financial Reporting Authority. It was established in 2018, and it looks out after the ethical issues or any misconduct of auditors. Earlier, the auditors, they used to got scot-free, mainly because the regulations and the supervision was under the ambit of ICAI, that is Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. That was a self-regulatory body, and it was an association of chartered accountants only. So they were not taking action against their own people. They were just let off like that, and then they were creating problems. The issue was raised during the Satyam issue also. You know how Satyam fiasco happened. The same thing had happened during Punjab National Bank of case of Mehul Choksi and others there also. And just like doctors or lawyers, this a lot depends on auditors. So auditors, if they are not doing their job perfectly, there is no regulation on them, and there is no fear of regulation on the auditors. It is very difficult because financial institutions, shareholders, SEBI, everyone, they rely their analysis and everything on these numbers only, the balance sheets. So the balance sheets and the CR, they are not even doing the job. Honestly, it is difficult for the system to survive. So that in that backdrop, NFRA was constituted. So let's see what was now ICI and what is NFRA. So earlier, as I told you, ICI was the sole accounting regulator previously, but now they regulate mostly the auditors of the private companies, while NFRA regulates auditor of all public interest entities. Also, the NFRA has more power and a larger scope than the ICAI. So the power, if you will not honor your responsibilities, if you will not discharge your duties perfectly, no problem, the powers will be taken from you, and that's what has happened to ICI. Now ICI is looking after smaller cases, and if government, it is not just like if only public listed companies NFRA will look into. Even if private companies or financial institutions, any government thinks fit, it can transfer any case to NFRA. So if the ICAI is not doing its job perfectly, the government can transfer that case to NFRA, and then NFRA will be able to look into it. So NFRA now can check audit misconduct if it's even before its formation. When NFRA was formed, NFRA was formed in October 2018. So now it has another ruling. NCLAT has said that the authority of NFRA to penalize and take action is applicable retrospectively. That even before the cases of whatever has happened before 2018, October 2018, still NFRA can go into it and they can penalize and take action on the matters happened before its formation. So it has powers, retrospective powers now. So that was all about NFRA. Now next news, UPI transactions jumps 54% to 11.2 billion in November. So UPI has been a revolution in Indian finance sector, and it has caught the attention of even world powers. They are all trying to replicate or trying to use even UPI. UPI is also going to expand, but in India it is doing a tremendous job. It has empowered people for cashless transactions, and it was a festive season in India, so the platform saw a 54% year-on-year increase in the transactions, and it has touched 11.2 billion in November. So that was boosted by strong festive season spending, especially on e-commerce websites. The volume of transactions surpassed the 11 billion mark in October as well. So depending on because of the strong spending by the people, and they are preferring UPI now, and no more doing debit card purchases, no more internet banking. UPI is simple, easy, and also the charges are they're very user friendly, so people are using it more and more now. Moving on to the next news, Hindustan Unilever has appointed former Revenue Secretary Tarun Bajaj as an independent director. So all the IS and the retired government servants, they are getting employment in different companies as directors. And Unilever Limited has announced the appointment of Tarun Bajaj as an independent director on its board, effective from December 1st, 2023, for a 5-year term. Another appointment, IBBI appoints Jitesh John as new executive director. What is IBBI? IBBI is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. It is insolvency regulator. It looks after the IBC proceedings happening all around. So they have appointed a new executive director, Mr. Jitesh John. John was a 2001. John is a 2001 batch Indian Economic Service Officer. Previously, he has served as an economic advisor in the Ministry of Power also. He assumed charge of his new role at IBBI on Friday. I'm talking about the last Friday. So these were some of the appointments. Let's move on. Now, government is likely to miss target of flying 30 lakh beneficiaries under UDAN Scheme in financial year 2024. So let's see the news. The RCS UDAN Scheme benefited around 12.5 lakh passengers in the 7 months ended October, and it may be challenging for the union government to meet its target for the full fiscal year. Full fiscal year, government has targeted 30 lakh passengers in this financial year, but it is looking at the pace. Now it is getting difficult for government to achieve the target. It has only flown 12.5 lakh passengers in 7 months. So whatever the UDAN scheme was formed, it is Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik. So it was formed for creating new airports, for creating routes where smaller airports or where the commercial activity is not viable for the commercial activity was not viable for airline companies. So now it offers subsidies. It has put price cap also. We'll discuss about UDAN scheme if you want me to discuss. I will discuss in a separate video. But still, this is creating a momentum in the aviation industry. This creating new routes, and it has already benefited a lot of people. This 2.5 lakh passengers is just a number. It has created a much larger sector, and it has enabled airlines as well as enabled the flyers also. So the scheme, I will say, it has succeeded a lot, and the whatever has not been done for last 7 years, it has achieved in a relatively very less part of time. Moving on, the Zerodha Kite app has gone down again, third time in 3 straight months. So Zerodha app is facing issues, and when your platform is not working and you want to sell or buy something, it is hampering the investors' interest. They are not able to execute their orders at the right time. Zerodha has to work on it, and SEBI has also to look into it, because investors' interest is at stake. The next news, India's outward remittance surges to records $18.34 billion in FY24 under LRS. What is the LRS? It is Liberalized Remittance Scheme. So in the first half of financial year 2024, money is sent abroad by Indians under the LRS scheme. It has a record high of $18.34 billion. This is a 37% jump compared to the remittances in the corresponding period in the last fiscal. Under the RBI's LRS, all resident Indians can freely remit up to Rs 250,000 per financial year for any permissible current or capital account transaction, or a combination of both. What is current account transaction? Current account transaction are for your own expenses. You are not buying any properties or creating any assets or liabilities. It is for expenses like you have gone for treatment abroad, or you are supporting your family, or you are studying there. So all the current expenses are covered, or even what is capital account transactions? Capital account transactions are those transactions where you are creating any kind of assets or liabilities. So this was the thing. Now there is a possibility now of these remittances falling in half year 2 of FY 2024, after the centre has issued new directive to revise the tax collection at source from 5% to 20% on certain foreign remittances under the LRS scheme, effective from October 1st. The government has put new taxes, so that can discourage people from using the LRS for remittances, hopefully, because if we are doing for productive work, like for capital account transactions, that is understood. But unnecessary remittances under the LRS, especially for current account expenses, which are not productive, that is taking out the valuable money from our country to outside, and it is required that we should regulate this. These remittances, the amount is huge. You can see $18.34 billion. So that is a huge amount, and these are very precious. These are very precious money for our country.